Hey y'all, and welcome to my channel. I want to take this time to say a great big bottom of my heart thank you to everyone that showed some support for just everything that's been going on in my life. It seems like this has just been a yearly thing. I mean, it's not anything that just happened. It's my whole year has really not been that good. But I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart for your comments and your donations. I love you all. So this project here is a product review of bezels and cabochons for BEEBEECRAFT. BEEBEECRAFT is a jewelry supply company. Any kind and every kind of jewelry making, whatever you want, anything you want for jewelry making. BEEBEECRAFT has it, and they have reasonable prices also. Now this right here, I got as a gift from Miss Stacy Snorf. Thank you so much. I had these on my Amazon wish list before I even knew about BEEBEECRAFT. But these are glue-on bales, and what that is it's a hoop, basically a small hoop that glues on the back of a pendant in order to thread your chain through to make a necklace. So I'm using E6000. Now that E6000 is old. I'm pretty sure it's about a year old, if not over a year old. So I'm going to try and use it. Now those bezels come in, they have like rose gold, silver, gold, I think bronze, or antique brass, whatever that color is. And as you can see, I have a lot of blanks to either make into necklaces or magnets, or keychains. But anyway, I thought I would use different things in order to show y'all how to make these. And those two pieces are vinyl. And then these pieces right here are acrylic paint pour skins. And what a skin is that when you pour acrylic paint and that paint falls off of whatever you're pouring it on, it makes these really funky looking designs. And when it dries, you can peel it off and it makes a skin. It makes that thin sheet. So I didn't realize it at the time, but those bezels on the left hand side of your screen, there were not 4 colors, there were only 3 colors. And I did realize it later, but at the time, for some reason or another, it looked like a different color to me. I don't know. Anyway, with these paint skins, you don't want to, I mean, they're kind of sticky. They're very pliable. You can stretch them a little bit, but don't fold them on top, or not on top, but just don't fold them because you can't get them apart. So anyway, what I'm doing right now is I'm taking a cabochon and I'm going around and placing it on the skin to see if there's a design in the paint that I like, so I can go ahead and make a necklace out of it. And I'm taking my E6000 Now that little black top, you can buy E6000 with the needle nose points to them, but the first time I used it, I didn't like using them. I just went ahead and used the regular nozzle for the tube itself, and I'm spreading it around the cabochon with the micro brush. And what you want to do is just place your cabochon on whatever medium that you're going to place inside the bezel, and you want to push on it kind of hard in order to get it to look not smooth, but clean and clear. Now that glue, when you leave it on its side, the glue starts oozing out of the tube, so that's why it's propped up inside a cup. Yeah, I realized it right there that there's only 3 colors in here, not 4. So I'm getting out another bezel. And these paint skins are kind of fun because of just the runoff that you get. And in order to, have a paint skin, you don't have to pour paint over anything. You can just pour it on top of like wax paper or silicone, anything with a smooth surface. You can pour it on top of, and when it dries, you can peel it off. Let me know in the comments if y'all want to see how you can make a paint skin of your own, because as you can see right now, these necklaces are not that hard to make. I mean, a child could make these necklaces as long as they're, really careful with the glue. And you can use any glue that will stay glued for a long time, because you want your jewelry pieces to last a long time. You can use super glue, and I highly or strongly suggest that if you do use super glue and you're messy like I am, you probably want to wear gloves, because you don't want, once that super glue is stuck to your skin, there is no way of getting that stuff off unless you use acetone. Maybe soak your fingers in some acetone. And it takes a while for E6000 to dry. And I just glue it and I walk away. And 9 times out of 10, I forget to come back. I'm just real bad about that. But unless I set a timer, and I'm, on a time crunch. But that's one of my little jewelry, jewelry boxes. Yeah, there's another tube. But it's got all kinds of stuff in it to make keychains and different types of jewelry. Those are keys, like old or antique keys that you can do for keychains. But right now what I'm doing is I'm looking for chains for the necklaces, and I have 2 types of chains. I've got cords, and right there, I don't know what type of chains you call those, but I got them from Amazon, and they came in a pack of gold and silver. Now these chains aren't very long, They're about 19 inches long. But that's what I was doing right there, and I should have had that done before I even turned my phone on to record this video. But with the black cord, I got those from Amazon, and they came in a package with black and I think blue, like a light blue. There's, I think brown is in there. So there's different colors in a package. You can buy them with all black or with different colors. So this is fairly dry. It's just a little teeny tiny bit wet. But what you want to do is take your scissors and cut around the cabochon. And that's what I'm doing right here. And you want to make sure that nothing, absolutely nothing, is sticking out from underneath your cabochon, because if there's anything sticking out, it's not going to fit into the bezel properly. And that's what that looks like. So I'm going to take my E6000, and I like to put my glue into the bezel. I don't know why. You don't have to do it like that. It's just the way that I prefer. And I'm getting a little impatient with this glue, because I know that it's old and it's thick and sticky, and you know, I wanted to use it, you know, and not waste it, but I didn't have the patience for it. Now, here comes the disappointing part, in that the jump ring at the end of that chain, I know it looks small, but it was too big to fit through the, I don't, what do you call it, eyelet, or I just call it a hole. So what I'm doing here with my pliers is I'm taking that jump ring off that chain in hopes that I can go ahead and fit that chain through the hole of the cabochon. And as you can see, I'm really not having the best time. I kept dropping it. And it's like, nope, it still won't fit through there. So I don't know, maybe people that have their own chains without the, you know, without anything at the end of the chain, maybe you can fit the chain through there and then put your ends on your chain. I don't know, because I'm not that familiar with making jewelry from scratch. So I'm trying every way possible to try and get that through there, and I'm sorry folks, it just ain't happening. So I'm putting the jump ring back on the chain, and I'm bending it back to where it's normal. And I was surprised, because that glue was not oozing out of the tube at that point. So right then and there, I'm wondering, what in the world am I gonna do with these little pendants? And that's the holographic pink vinyl. Yeah, I'm giving up on that that tube of E6000 because I did have another one, a fresh tube, which I eventually got out later. But with that vinyl, after I I set it aside because it wasn't dry. You know, it was still really slippery. So I just left it alone and, you know, tried to let it dry. And I could have, after I cut around the cabochon, I could have peeled the backing off of it and just stuck it inside the bezel. But, you know, with necklaces, they, you know, they're something that is used frequently, and you know, the more wear and tear on the little pendant, you know, the more of a chance you're going to have of that cabochon just falling out of the out of the bezel. God, I can't talk today. So that's why you saw me just go ahead. I went ahead and glued it onto the vinyl because I know that it's not going to come off. And there's that one and that one. It had dried just a little bit, but it was still sliding around. So I was just really careful to make sure. See, you can kind of tell. Well, I was squeezing that sucker just, oh, come on out of there. And I think at that point I threw the tube away. And you want to stick it down really, really, really well, because even though you're using sort of a jewelry glue, now you'll see that E6000, I think it's called Bead and Jewelry. So after I turned the camera off the day before, I was wondering, how in the world am I gonna make those little pendants into necklaces? And it dawned on me that use the glue-on bales and that will solve your problem. Now, as you can see, I opened that tube the hard way because the cap to the tube has that little pointy section in the middle of it to where you can turn it upside down and poke it and open the tube. I didn't even think about that. My mind was on trying to get these glued onto these bales. But that's how you glue it on. And those bales have a rough side to them, and that's the side that you want to glue onto your piece because they are textured, and which will help them adhere to the surface better. Now with those having a curved surface, I wanted to prop them up because I didn't want the bale to be sliding, so that's why I have it propped up. And everything I use in this video will be in the description box. I don't have a link for the pliers, but I mean, go to Amazon and search for pliers, or like needle nose pliers, And Amazon, they have plenty for you to choose from. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and when you hit subscribe, you hit that all button, and that will let you know when I will release future videos. Look in the description box. There's all kinds of links and coupon codes, and I'm an affiliate of Let's Resin, and they send me an email giving me coupon codes and links and stuff to use for their company of their popular products, even though I'm not using them in this video, which I thought was really, really nice of them, because nobody other than Glitter Makes It, which nobody has used in probably almost a year. Nobody uses my links, so and they noticed that, so I was really happy to get those links, and everything's in the description box. Now, as you can see, the cord and those chains are going to fit through those bales with no problem. And the corded necklace has an extender chain on it, which is really cool. So look out at the end of this video for some photos that I did edit, and I don't know what happened to that, but I'm really not happy with the quality of the photos, but the photos are there. So I realized that I don't know why I picked out a silver chain. I think it was because I couldn't make up my mind whether to use a silver chain or the black cord on that one necklace, and I chose the black cord because there's black in the pattern of the paint. And I'm sorry for that little rectangular looking thing that's kind of in the middle of y'all's video screen, but that is a ruler, which I didn't realize was in the way until I started editing. So that will not be there in future videos.
It's all good.
So I'm just trying to get the chains back in the bag. They wad up, but when you unclasp them and pull it out, it pulls out easily. And I don't know why, but my mind was on using that silver chain. So I did pick out the gold one, and I'm using it now. And there we go. Easy peasy. I love this project. I love these. I recommend getting them from BEEBEECRAFT. So until next time, dare to create.